So, Boris, no sooner do you get through a successful inauguration than all of a sudden you're juggling these hand grenades. I wonder what it must feel like to you these days.
Well, David, I'm not going to characterize it as such. It's a great honor to be here, and I'm very excited for the American people about the leadership that they're receiving from this White House, from President Trump and Vice President Pence.
So Boris, this has not been a big secret. Candidate Trump talked about this. President-elect Trump talked about this, and now President Trump has followed through on it. Sure. So it's not a big secret that he was going to do something on immigration. But there are people, even within the Republican Party, who are asking some questions about exactly how it was rolled out, how it was communicated. Is it too soon to go back already and say, boy, if we had to do it over again, we might do a little differently in the way it was communicated?
We would not do it differently. There's national security is of utmost importance. And let's remember, as you said, candidate Trump made national security an utmost priority. The president-elect spoke about it almost daily, about how important it is to making sure Americans are safe and secure. And President Trump is following through on his promises. That's why the American people elected him, and that's what he's doing as president.
And Boris, as I said, there's no one can go back to the record and question this is what he said he would do. So no one can question that. At the same time, we had officials not really being prepared to implement this. We even had lawyers from the U.S. Attorney's Office in Brooklyn not being prepared to go into court to defend it. I mean, it did feel, to some of us at least, that we weren't prepared for it.
Well, the president has to act quickly to ensure America's safety. Congress and the Senate specifically have to act quickly in order to give us a functioning cabinet and to approve the nominees for the cabinet appointments. We don't have a Secretary of State yet because of the obstructionist Democrats in the Senate. At this point, in 2009, Barack Obama had about 12 folks already approved for the cabinet. We only have 4. Why? Because the Democrats are obstructing getting things done in the Senate and therefore obstruct America's safety and economic prosperity.
Boris, one question that came up over the weekend is why these countries and why not Saudi Arabia? What's your response to that?
This list is based on a list put together and put out by the Obama administration.
No, of course. And the question around the Obama administration was the same. Why not Saudi Arabia?
And listen, this list is not final. That's already been said.
So you're saying you're considering to put Saudi Arabia on the same list?
The considerations are ongoing to add to the list as need be to ensure America's safety.
So, Boris, you referred to the fact that we don't have as many cabinet members in place as we would like. How difficult is that for this new administration? Tell us what it looks like behind the scenes now. Do you have people in place to really be moving forward on things like these executive orders?
Absolutely. We have a fully functioning government, but we do need those folks, the cabinet heads. We need the people appointed to be confirmed by the Senate. It's absolutely key. And the Senate, the Democrats in the Senate need to stop obstructing the will of the American people. This president was elected with 306 electoral votes. His agenda was elected, and we need to act on that agenda. And the Senate needs to confirm those nominees for the Senate.
Well,
for the cabinet appointments.
Some of the biggest protests over the weekend, Boris, actually came from CEOs, in particular Silicon Valley. And we're getting more news today about Lloyd Blankfein, the CEO of Goldman Sachs, saying to employees that their business could be affected by the travel ban. What's your response to them? Are you looking at H-1B visas next?
Well, I wouldn't call it a travel ban. What's going on right now? It's a pause, a 90, 120-day pause to make sure that the processes we have in place ensure American safety, protect Americans here in the homeland.
But Boris, CEOs are concerned, particularly in Silicon Valley, particularly about hiring overseas individuals. Can you tell me anything about H-1B visas?
So we're talking about 7 countries here. 7 countries that have already been identified as state-sponsored terrorism in some cases, identified as countries that we should not be traveling to. 7 countries. Let's not blow this out of proportion and make sure that we are making America safe and strong.
So, Boris, does that mean that the administration's not looking at H-1B visas to constrict them in any way?
Well, we're looking at all options to make sure America is safe and secure.
So that's a yes. You are looking at H-1B visas or no?
I'm not going. That's not the topic I'm going to be talking to you about right now. What I am going to be talking about is the unbelievably productive first full week this president had, and an exciting week we have ahead.
So what do you say to the CEOs who are worried?
What you say to them is that take a look at the actual text of the executive order, not the hysteria put out there by the liberal media. And what you will see is that the executive order is narrowly tailored to keep America safe and secure.
So, Boris, give us a peek into that exciting week ahead. Give us a little tease. What should we be looking forward to? What's the next thing up?
Just as the first week was unbelievably productive, 15 executive action, 14 conversations with heads of state from overseas, this week is going to be full of actions. It's going to be full of conversations with overseas leaders, and it's going to be completely focused on making sure we move forward as a country, and that's why we need those Senate Democrats to stop obstructing the cabinet appointments.